What's going on, everybody? It's Stock Picks by Tim, and I'm back again with another 5 stocks to buy now video. And we're going to get into Indy, then we're going to get into Volta, then we're going to touch on Any and CleanSpark, and also Sofi. I haven't really talked about Sofi recently, and I do think it's in a zone to buy. Now, I've got my daughter playing blocks in the background, so bear with me on that. You might hear a little bit of background noise this time, but let's get into it here. First off, we're going to talk about Indy, INDI, and we are holding this trend pretty well. And if we continue to hold through it, we're likely going to come over 12 and hopefully hold that 12. But I still think it's in a great zone to buy, and I think that selling pressure from insider selling and the negativity that surrounded that is just about over. We did have a little bit of a downtrend as news broke that there was some insider selling, and I believe actually this was where it started. We actually ran up that day, the day the CEO Donald McClymont sold, but then there was news that other insiders sold, and I think it was mostly to do with taking profits. Some of it was from the SPAC when they were Thunderbridge. So I think the selling pressure is done from that, and we are on our next leg up. And remember, it wasn't long ago that we're up here trading at this $16 level. We did find a resistance there, retried it and failed, and it's been kind of just tumbling down ever since. But this was due to the volatility in the market, the Omicron variant, and all just the small caps getting destroyed. Indy went along with a lot of the small caps. It is a small cap, big surprise. But I do expect it to trade over 12 and stay at or above this $12 support level, and I am happy to buy at this time now. And another thing you could even consider doing is right here at that 1050, I believe. And that was one that this was one option that I like to play on Indy, was selling a cash secured put at 1050, meaning if this comes down to 1050, which we have pretty strong support at 11, we did break it, and we did come right under 1050, but unless another negative catalyst like more insider selling comes in, I highly doubt we're going to see 1050 again. So I think it's a pretty safe place to sell a cash secured put, which would be giving you that premium and giving you, if it drops under 50, it would force you would be forced to buy 100 shares of Indy, which I think buying 100 shares of Indy at 1050 at current times is a great deal. So if that happens, I would be okay with it. And if it doesn't happen, then, well, you get to collect that premium. So that's one thing to consider with Indy. You could even go with a call. You could even go with a 2022 call potentially. Definitely a lot of ways to play Indy. Of course, you could just go with buying some shares here. Great place to start a position if you don't have one yet, in my opinion. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor, so always do your own research, do your own DD. But I've got other videos that go into Indy and go into the executive team, which I absolutely love. And next up, we've got Volta, or VLTA. Now this one we've held right here above this 730 level. Right now we're at 750. Still a great time to buy, in my opinion. And as a long-term support, if it does fall back farther, 660 or so will be our support level, as you can see back here. Pretty safe level, and in my personal opinion, it's low risk where it's at. We could come down and test this 730, but I kind of doubt it. I think we're going to continue to run and work our way into the 8s. But keep an eye on Volta. Definitely recommend it. If you like ChargePoint, I think it's good to have a little bit of exposure into Volta as well. And I might do a future video even about just all the chargers, all the charger companies, the EVgo's, Voltas, even Wallbox, ChargePoint, of course. Another one I think is at a pretty decent place to buy right here at around 19, I believe ChargePoint is at. Another one that's good to buy. But yeah, Volta, I definitely love it at its current price, and I'm more than happy to buy it under $8. And remember, it was only about a month ago that we were trading at about 1250. Definitely bullish on Volta on the long term, and I also think it's pretty good for a quick swing trade. Now, as for a resistance, look for about 880 or so. I could definitely see some resistance, possibly at 780. We do have this previous support. It might become a resistance for us right at 780. We'll see if we just break that and fly past it. If we do, it's very likely we could find even $8 as a resistance. A nice whole number, we might find 8 as the resistance, but I do expect this in 2022 to at least reach $12 again by end of 2022. That's going to be my prediction. So almost to double up where it's at over the next year. But that's it with Volta, and let's get into the next one. All right, and next up, I want to get into Sofi, another stock I don't really talk about too often, but I do like this at its current price. And you can see that we do have a relatively strong support right here at about 14. Okay, you can see back here, it hits very close to 14 and just bounces. Same back here, we dropped under 14, but then it was quick to recover. Same thing here, I expect the same thing coming forwards. My prediction for 2022 for this one, I can definitely see this coming up and retesting that $20, $18 to $20 range in 2022. So I am happy to buy this at its current price. Definitely recommend you look into SoFi. It is a financial stock, and I think financial stocks will do pretty well with interest rates rising to curb inflation. So I do think that these financial stocks will do well. You could even look into JP Morgan, you could look into Chase, you could look into Wells Fargo, Bank of America. I think it's definitely important to have a little bit of exposure to some financial stocks, especially with interest rates rising. And I think this is a great one to get at its current price. I think the downside is very limited, being at only about $14. Of course, it could fall further than that, but just looking at history, I mean, downside of 14 seems pretty safe to say. We do bounce pretty heavily right after that 14, so I'm buying it here. I'm ready for this spring to just pop and come back up to this 20s. It could take longer than expected, but I do think by 2022 we will see 18 to 20. And next up, I want to get into Sphere 3D. I haven't talked about this one in a while. It has just been in free fall, and that's pretty much why I haven't wanted to talk about it. Okay, you don't want to buy the stock when it's dropping, continuing the downtrend. You want to see some consolidation. I think now is a potential time to buy into it. Although it would be nice to see it break the EMAs and hold. It tried before, only to fail and continue further. We might see that again. But I do like it at its current price. And coming into 2022, I can see some hype coming into this as we get closer to the potential of the merger with Griffin. So it is expected in Q1 of 2022, but we'll see what happens there. They might delay. It might get delayed again. And remember, the merger was delayed by no fault of Griffin or Sphere 3D. It was all bureaucratical and regulatory reasons, so I do expect that merger to come through in 2022, unless otherwise stated by Griffin or Sphere 3D. But I do see this coming back and retesting the 5s at some point. I think it's at a pretty decent time to buy. We are consolidating. We are no longer in free fall. We are starting to consolidate. And if you don't have a position yet, definitely keep an eye on A and Y. I think it's at a decent place to buy. We're at least not in free fall. And I think the reversal is going to be coming soon. We are selling quite a bit off of our previous highs of roughly 850. We did break higher back here. I'm not going to consider that. That's just a huge spike and a drop. For us to come back to previous highs, you'd be looking at more than a double up. So I think at its current price, it has been depressed enough. And I think for me, it's time to start buying again. I was avoiding buying in this free fall down here, but I do think it's a safe place to buy. We did find a little bit of support here and bounce. So this is where the buying pressure does tend to start coming in. There's a chance that buying pressure will start buying in, just like we saw before. This could have been a precursor here when we bounced, showing us that right around this level, the buying pressure starts entering a little heavier, and I am happy to buy it at its current price. I will be adding to my position on Sphere 3D. I do have some 2022 calls, and I of course still have all my original position of shares. And I was swinging this. You guys remember when I was talking about this swinging in this channel? Easy swing trades, but we did break this channel. And I do expect that if we come back up to this channel, or we perhaps make a new channel in 2022 as we wait for that merger, I do expect some up and down volatility and some potential swing trades moving forward. So definitely keep an eye on Sphere 3D or any A and Y. Now, as for the last stock of these 5 stocks to buy now, and then I'm going to get into a little bit of a Bitcoin analysis real quick because we are starting to run on Bitcoin. We're going to get into CleanSpark though, and this is another one, another Bitcoin miner, just like Sphere 3D, any. And the ticker on this is CLSK. Now, I do like it at its current price. I'm definitely happy to buy it right here where it's at. We are becoming a little overbought on the RSI. On the 3-month and the 1-month, we are getting close to overbought, but I do think this can run a little further, especially if we see Bitcoin continuing its upwards trend. I do like it at its current price, though. You do see that we have a nice support level right here at about 1055. Okay, 1055 I'd say is worst case scenario. If it drops under here, you might want to just take your loss on that. It could fall further. We don't have a previous support level under 1055, so just be aware of that. But last time we had our earnings, we sold off. Kind of similar thing here. We found this base and we are turning around. Now remember guys, not this last earnings, but the previous earnings, we were right here around this $10, $11 mark. And then we just ran up to about $23. And then we downtrended, okay? There is a lot of volatility in this. There's definitely chances to make some gains on this one. Keep an eye on it. I do like it at its current price. And I might consider trimming some profits if it does come up to 20. I do have my position in Vanguard that I'm going to continue to just long-term hold. Now, I might open up a position on webull just to have it in a different portfolio, so if this does pop, I can do my swing trade on it, but I'm going to just continue to hold on Vanguard for my CleanSpark. I'm just going to continue to hold it and, you know, just let it ride out into 2023 perhaps, maybe 2024, depending on the price of Bitcoin, of course, and where this moves. But if you want access to pre-market and after-hours trading, check out webull. I've got a link below, and you can get some free stocks. Also got Voyager and Crypto.com. Get you some free crypto for putting in $100. You get, I believe, $30 back. So a 30% gain just for putting in 100 right off the bat. Definitely check it out, and I highly recommend checking out Voyager. I do like their app. And let's get into Bitcoin here. Now I want to zoom out a bit and show you that we did break this previous resistance we had here right at about 51.8. We broke it. We had a bull flag and then we dropped. So this broke the bull flag, and we are continuing downwards. You see this red. But we did have a nice run earlier today. We had a nice run from about 51,300 all the way up to almost right to 52,000. We made it to 52,000, couldn't hold, and we broke. I do expect Bitcoin to retest this level. I do expect it. We just broke our previous high there. That gives me a little bit more confidence in Bitcoin that we broke this previous high. So we're getting higher highs, and you can see in recent time we've been getting higher lows. We've been on this nice uptrend. And another thing you can do, since that bull flag broke, since we broke that bull flag, another thing you might want to do is we've got these nice 3 points here, and then you can add on the top. Maybe you want to see if we can break this trend line, or if we break this here, we might continue downwards, but it's one way you can keep an eye on Bitcoin, see if the trend continues. But I do think we're looking pretty bullish still. I do think we're looking pretty bullish, and I do expect us to continue to run. I do expect us to retest that 52,000, and we'll see what happens. But if we do have a nice run, it seems like Bitcoin is kind of running with the market. So Thursday we did have a nice run on the overall market, and then Bitcoin ran a little bit too. So if we continue to have a pretty nice little Santa rally here, I do expect Bitcoin to run as well with the market. But we'll see what happens there. But that's basically all I got for you guys. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. I put out videos every single day, or try to at least. And that's basically it. 5 stocks to buy now, and I will be adding to my positions on these. But thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.